So what are the kind of things? What? No. So what are the some?
Hey y'all!
Hello, I'm Sean.
And I'm Summer, and we're back! Today we'll be talking about external self-care, because last week we talked about internal self-care.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Sean, what is external self-care to you?
Okay, I would say, it's much more active than internal self-care. For example, when I was dealing with low self-esteem, low self-confidence, my therapist had me write down what I think about myself on one side and what I want my ideal self to be. And she later said, it's the same thing. You are your ideal self. So I was like, whoa, mind blown. But the external self-care came from actually vocalizing this out loud and saying, I am this, and just sitting in it and living it. So you could argue that it is internal because it is your thoughts, but I feel like just vocally expressing it out loud made it external self-care for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think external self-care encompasses a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
But some of them, which we'll get into later, but I said this earlier. This is the second time we filmed this. First, I said taking care of yourself externally, but honestly, that's the truth.
It is the truth.
It's things that you need to do in order to survive, in order to thrive as a human being.
That's right.
Because self-care, I think, actually goes further than just surviving. It goes into thriving, but sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do in order to thrive. Doing those things can be self-care. So can other cliche things that we all talk about in the social medias, but we'll get to that. But what is a big example of external self-care to you?
Having a good network around you.
Okay.
Having a good support group, whether that's friends or family. You need good people in your life. Yeah. And you need good people that are supportive, are there. They show up when you need them to, and you also show up for them. But not when it's convenient for them or convenient for you. There has to be a balance there.
Yeah, I think if you have friends that only show up when it's convenient to them, that's not true friendship. Obviously, there's a time and a place for everything, and sometimes you simply can't make it work, and that's fine. We're humans, we're fallible, but I think I agree with Sean that it's really important to have a solid group of friends around you. Obviously, not all of your friends are going to be, excuse me for the term, but ride or die. Right? But it's like you need to have that solid person or people that are there for you, that also can keep you accountable and call out your BS.
Yeah, call it out. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
This isn't you.
Yeah,
What's
being
going
honest.
on?
Yeah, brutally honest. And that's the thing. Like I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't mind sitting my friends down and saying, like, this is what I'm going through. I'm having a rough time here. And it could be bad, like, offloading onto them, but it is a form of self-care for me. To say, guys, like, this is what I'm going through, and they will give me, their support and things. Yeah. But also, I know that can be seen as quite selfish. But when I have things out in the open and I'm able to express myself, I know it can be a lot nicer and be able to deal with that the right way. Because in the past I had like issues with not saying anything and keeping it all in. So for me to have a good network around me and to say, guys, I'm dealing with this. And they can be like, okay, LaShawn, take a minute, pause. And yeah, that's a great form of self-care for me.
I don't think it's selfish if you do the same thing in return for them.
Yeah.
If you do have a group of friends and you just expect them to always be there for you and you're always offloading on them and not offering nothing in return, then it's selfish. Yeah. And could be a toxic friendship. If you're there for each other, obviously you're not both on at the same time and you're both not sad at the same time. Though those things can happen, but just to be there for your friends.
Of course.
I mean, I think it's self-care in itself to be there for your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
Definitely.
help people.
Yeah, definitely.
Part of being a human,
Mm.
part of having friendships and relationships is having hard conversations.
Yeah.
How does that tie in with self-care?
Ooh. I think it kind of links to what I said about my form of self-care and having a good network of people around that are supportive and are there for you. When you are dealing with conflict, it's important to let that person know how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And this is something I did not do. And I have had, as many people have had failed friendships in the past. And it either just kind of faded out slowly, or it was just an immediate like cut and you just never spoken to them again. But I think it's important when something goes wrong and you feel hurt is to express that.
Yeah.
And to let that person know, hey, you've done this to me. And this is how it's made me feel. You may not have been aware of that, and that's okay, but I'm just letting you know that.
Right.
So, yeah. That's self-care because you're taking care of your mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Of your emotional well-being as well. So, yeah. Definitely. What about you? Yeah.
Well, I'm an avoider of conflict and an avoider of pain, which conflict is pain to me, so I put up with an extraordinary amount of things that I probably shouldn't.
Uh-huh.
Don't use this newfound knowledge to take advantage of me. However, I would agree that you need to be able to have these hard conversations because A, that takes care of yourself and that takes care of your friendships.
Oh, yeah.
Even if that friendship is now obsolete, that's better for you and that person.
Yeah.
But I have a friendship now, and in the early stages, I was doing something harmful to her, and I didn't realize it. And she called me out on it. She was like, hey, Summer, we've talked about this. I don't understand why you keep doing this.
Yeah.
Can you not? And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, he wasn't aware of
I
it.
didn't realize the importance of this.
Yeah.
And I'm very sorry. But being able to have those hard and tough and honest conversations with people is important.
Yeah.
Not only with friendships, but maybe parents or cousins or
yeah.
aunts and uncles. I mean, strife, we're humans on this earth. Strife comes as part of the picture. So being able to have those hard conversations, I think, is good mentally for us.
Definitely.
Do.
Yeah.
Even if it is hard and a struggle. I'm talking to myself, really, but it's fine.
What are some other forms of self-care?
There's big ticket ones that we talk a lot about, but there's some that I think are essential to living successfully as a human.
Yes.
And those encompass paying your bills on time.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you are constantly paying your bills late, that's added stress and added anxiety, and how's that taking care of yourself?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's things that happen. There's hardships, I get it, but consistently.
Yeah.
And also cleaning your room, cleaning your house. If you've ever lived with me, this is not my strong suit. It's not that I'm dirty, I'm just messy.
Yeah.
Does that?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
A lot of times it doesn't bother me, but sometimes when I'm really upset and I come home to a dirty house and then I'm like, ah!
Yeah, it could make it worse. Yeah.
So even if you don't want to, cleaning your house is self-care, and it just makes you feel better.
Yeah, it puts you in a good mood.
You know, after you clean your house, and then you light a candle, maybe you have a window open, and you're just like, oh man, this is the life.
Feel accomplished. Yeah.
Yes, also doing things. That sense of accomplishment is
Yeah,
self-care.
definitely, yeah.
Another tangent. So what are some other ones besides those two?
Well, I mentioned journaling, I think, in the
yeah.
last video. And so it's also a form of external self-care because you're just putting your thoughts down on paper. So that's a big one for me.
Okay.
I love journaling. Yoga. We were doing that every Wednesday. We haven't done that in a while, actually.
You don't need to out us like that.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Yoga, exercise, these are just some forms that, people are pretty aware of.
Yeah.
But, yeah, pretty good.
The other day, I came across this post on my friend's Facebook. She's an intern to be a counselor. My goal. This post talks about self-care as an umbrella and some things that go underneath the umbrella. One of those being self-soothing.
Yeah.
which I really loved this term and what it encompassed, and just how it talked about self-care versus self-soothing. So self-soothing is more, I mean, it's pretty, it lies in the name, but those things that really help ground you or soothe you after you've had a really long and hard day, that just like bring you back.
Yeah, it also can be seen as quite temporary, so not really permanent. It's not a long-term solution, more like, okay, what can I do to get out of the rut that I'm in now? So some of the examples we saw were like taking a shower, cuddling, listening to music,
watching a movie, eating a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah.
As Lorelai Gilmore would say, wallowing would be encompassed in this.
Yeah, definitely.
But I just think, you know, a lot we see in, not media, but culture, society now is just treat yourself.
Yeah.
Girl, just go put on a face mask and deal with it, which, valid.
Yeah.
But to say that that is what self-care is, I don't think is valid.
No.
I think that's more of self-soothing.
Yeah.
Which is part of self-care.
Yeah.
But not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to put your hair up and clean your house and pay your bills and have a hard conversation with a friend that you've been putting off.
Yeah, and this is self-care. Yeah.
And then, when you need to self-soothe, put on your face mask and watch a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. No, honestly, yeah, that's good. That's good. So what are the things that you do to self-soothe
and
self-care?
Okay. Self-soothe. I think I mentioned this, if you couldn't tell. I love movies. Also ice cream. I am in Korea and they don't have Bluebell. My Texans, you know what I'm talking about. Which is real sad because I miss Bluebell. It's ice cream and it's...
Really?
Yes, girl. I will fight you. Bluebell. Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, or I love playing games. Not like, don't play games with a heart, but like card games, board games.
Wow.
I'm a mess. Card games, board games, anything like that I love to do with people. A select few people. That sounds so bad. Groups of people stress me out, so I cannot.
Cool.
But external self-care in general, I already said this, cleaning is a difficult one for me, but I know that once I do it, I feel better.
Yeah, definitely.
But also, when I do journal, when I do take the time to write out things, I do feel better about it.
Yeah.
Getting there is a process.
Getting there, yeah.
What about you?
For me, self-soothing, I would say putting on a face mask.
Love it.
Having a shower, that really calms me down. I also like, when I'm in a really low mood, I just stick my headphones in and play music like super loudly, which is probably why my hearing isn't the best. For self-care, napping. I love sleeping. So napping and also organising and planning my week. When I love planning and I love having diaries. So when I have the diary and I can plan from Monday to Sunday, I feel so good. I feel really good.
Alright, so anyway, this has been our talk on external self-care.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, please drop a comment and let us know what you thought about internal or external self-care, things you do, anything you had to say about what we said, and let us know.
Yeah, and like always, check us out on Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter, yeah.
And Goodreads if you want to check up on our reading.
Oh yeah. If you do that, then I will feel motivated to actually resume the 3 books that I'm reading.
Yeah, we've been slacking a little bit. That's okay. Ooh. Anyways, like always, it's been fun.
Yeah, I'm Sean.
And I'm Summer.
See you.
Bye.